Many of you still find yourselves refreshing rumor pages at 2 a.m. Not because you need a new camera, but because you want to believe the next one might change everything. That's exactly where we are with the Sony FX3 II. Not confirmed, not announced, not even consistently agreed upon. And yet it feels real. The original FX3 didn't just become popular, it became a quiet workhorse behind serious productions, indie films, and even Hollywood projects. Now, years later, the anticipation for its successor isn't just about specs, it's about direction. Because if the FX3 II is real, then this isn't just another update, it's the beginning of something. Let's address the chaos first, because nothing about the FX3 II rumor cycle has been clean. On one side, you have highly detailed leaks describing a camera that sounds almost too perfect. Higher resolution, faster readout, better stabilization, more audio control, and even deeper cinema integration. On the other side, you have industry voices outright dismissing these claims as noise, the kind of speculation that spreads faster than facts. And somewhere in between lies the truth. The most consistent thread across credible discussions points toward a new sensor direction. Not necessarily higher resolution for the sake of marketing, but a smarter balance. There's growing belief that Sony may shift toward a moderate megapixel count with advanced stacking, prioritizing speed, dynamic range, and low-light performance over sheer pixel count. Interestingly, this aligns with what made the original FX3 special in the first place. There's also talk of improved processing power, likely building on Sony's newer imaging pipelines. Faster readout speeds could significantly reduce rolling shutter, something filmmakers care about far more than casual users. And if Sony integrates enhanced AI processing, autofocus could take another leap forward, especially in complex scenes. Then there's audio, an often overlooked but critical part of cinema cameras. Expectations suggest deeper integration with professional audio workflows, possibly expanding multi-channel capabilities and improving dynamic range in recording. For solo creators and small crews, this matters more than ever. But here's the thing, none of these new features feel like gimmicks. They feel like refinements, and that's exactly why the FX3 II is interesting. If the FX3 II is real, and more importantly, if Sony plays this right, then the improvements won't be loud. They'll be meaningful. Start with image quality. The biggest potential shift lies in how the camera handles light and motion. A lower to mid-resolution sensor with larger pixels could dramatically improve low-light performance and highlight retention. That means cleaner shadows, smoother gradients, and more usable footage straight out of the camera. For filmmakers, that's everything. Then comes the readout speed. Faster sensor performance doesn't just reduce rolling shutter, it changes how the camera feels in motion. Handheld shots become more stable, fast pans become usable. Action sequences stop looking like digital artifacts and start looking cinematic. There's also a growing expectation around high frame rate capabilities. While 4K 120 FPS is already standard for this class, the real question is how far Sony is willing to push it. If they unlock higher frame rates without heavy compromises, that alone could redefine the FX3 II's appeal. Stabilization is another area quietly evolving. The idea of improved in-body stabilization, especially tuned for cinematic movement, could make handheld shooting even more viable. Add support for specialized lenses, and suddenly the FX3 II becomes more adaptable than ever. And let's not ignore thermal performance. The original FX3 was already strong here, but any improvement in cooling means longer recording times, more reliability, and fewer interruptions during critical shoots. But perhaps the most important upgrade isn't technical, it's philosophical. The FX3 II, if done right, won't try to impress you with numbers. It will try to disappear in your workflow, letting you focus on storytelling instead of settings. Here's where things get complicated. Because the FX3 II isn't launching into a space. The market has evolved aggressively. Competitors are pushing boundaries with higher resolutions, internal RAW options, and experimental features. Some brands are even redefining what a cinema camera should look like, offering bold alternatives that challenge Sony's traditionally conservative approach. And that pressure is real. There's a growing demand for features like internal ND filters, open gate recording, and even global shutter technology. These aren't just wish list items anymore. they're becoming deciding factors for many filmmakers. But Sony faces a unique challenge. If they add too much to the FX3 II, they risk overlapping with their higher-end cinema lineup. If they hold back too much, they risk falling behind competitors who are willing to take bigger risks. This tension defines the FX3 II. Interestingly, many filmmakers don't expect Sony to go all in on radical features. Instead, they expect refinement, a camera that doesn't try to win on paper, but wins in real-world use. And that's where Sony still has an edge. Color science, autofocus reliability, ecosystem strength, these aren't flashy specs, but they matter when you're actually shooting. There's also a growing sentiment within the community. Gear has reached a point where improvements are incremental, not revolutionary. The difference between cameras today isn't whether they can produce cinematic images, it's how easily and reliably they do it. In that sense, the FX3 II doesn't need to dominate. It just needs to be trusted. Now comes the question everyone keeps asking. When is it actually happening? If you follow the rumor cycle closely, there's a noticeable pattern pointing toward a 2026 timeframe. Some discussions suggest an early year announcement window, possibly aligning with industry events or product cycles. Others hint at delays influenced by broader production and logistical challenges. In short, the timing feels close but not guaranteed, and that uncertainty is affecting buying decisions. There are filmmakers holding off on purchasing the current FX3, hoping the new model is just around the corner. At the same time, others are pushing back against that mindset, arguing that waiting for the next big thing is an endless loop. It's a valid debate. As for pricing, expectations suggest Sony will keep the FX3 II within a similar range as its predecessor, somewhere around $4,000, positioning it as a premium but accessible cinema tool. Any significant jump in price would need to be justified by meaningful upgrades, not just incremental changes. And knowing Sony, they're aware of that balance. The Sony FX3 II is in a fascinating position right now. It exists in that grey area between rumour and reality, where expectations are shaped not just by leaks, but by years of experience with Sony's ecosystem. Some people believe the leaks, some dismiss them entirely, and many are simply watching, waiting to see what Sony does next. But beneath all the speculation, there's a deeper truth. The FX3 didn't succeed because it had the best specs. It succeeded because it made sense. It fit into workflows, it delivered consistent results. It became a tool people relied on, not just admired. And that's the real challenge for the FX3 II. Not to be louder, not to be flashier, but to be better in the ways that actually matter. Because in today's filmmaking world, the gap between cameras is smaller than ever. What separates them isn't capability, it's usability. So if the FX3 II truly begins now, it won't be with a dramatic reveal or a groundbreaking feature. It will begin quietly, on a set, in someone's hands, capturing a story. And maybe that's exactly how it should be. Thanks for watching.